All right, so why are we here? Right? Are we here just for self-defense martial arts? Because there are literally thousands of places to go for self-defense martial arts all across the country. We here because it's the sword, and we learn how to sword fight. No, because there's places to go learn how to sword fight too. You know, there are lots of schools in our area that have the ability to teach you how to sword fight. And then you don't have to deal with all the prayers and all the Catholic part of this. So then is it just for the Catholic content? No, not really, because you can go to lots of different prayer groups and really great faith-sharing groups, and then you don't have to freeze in the winter and sweat in the summer, show up to your home to your family with bruises on your arms. So there's easier ways to get that too. We're here because we believe that there is a connection between the martial arts and the physical world and spiritual warfare. And one of those linkages I want to talk about today is the idea of Kampfgeist. Kampfgeist is a fancy German word. It basically translates to martial spirit. It's how that you approach learning about self-defense, or how you approach learning about spiritual defense. Because you can learn martial arts without martial spirit. It would look sloppy. You would not be very successful at it. Your sparring would be weak. Martial arts without Kampfgeist has no purpose. You fight from your heart. You always fight from your heart. And that really is what it boils down to. I think of it too as when you train, you approach your training like you're going to have to use it. Think about how you train for this sword fight. And now I'm going to come up to you and say, okay, at the end of January, in about 45 days, we're going to have a sparring match with live blades, sharps. We're going to take sharp swords, and you're going to fight me, and we're going to see who makes it. Would that change your training? Would that change your level of dedication to the martial art? Yeah, of course it would. But spiritual warfare is around us all the time. And it is being fought with sharps, with real live blades all the time. I think it was St. Francis. And they asked him, he was having his breakfast and he was about to go out to tend his garden. And they said, somebody asked him, what would you do if you knew Jesus was coming back this afternoon? He said, I would go tend my garden. Because he had approached his spiritual life like Jesus was coming back every single day. And that's that martial spirit applied to the spiritual world. Pray from your heart. Don't just say the words, because anybody can go, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. No. Think about the words you're saying. Enunciate them out loud for yourself. It's like when you're using the sword or you're doing any type of a martial art, you try to be sharp and squared off with your tactics and with your moves. You want that same level when you are praying. You want to be looking for those opportunities for the prayer to come from your heart and to have meaning for you. Contemplate on it. I mean, there is so much. You could go into the Our Father for hours and hours by taking each little section apart and contemplating on what each little bit means. Okay. So, spiritual combat all around us. I have these great quotes sitting up here. Right? Fight like a knight so that I can reward you. Do not be unduly fearful because you are not alone. That's something that Jesus said to St. Faustina. Over here we have, you must not shirk your duty. This war is unavoidable. And you must either fight or die. That's from Lorenzo Scupoli, one of the books that we study. Where's the other one? Here's the other one up here. It is to live without faith without a heritage to defend, without battling constantly for truth is not to live, but to get along. We must never just get along. And that's Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. Right? The Bible knew it, talks about it. The saints understood it, that we are involved in a spiritual war every day. St. Francis de Sales, St. Ignatius of Loyola, two great saints who are known for their abilities in spiritual combat. They have been quoted and followed from the day that they were alive until modern times and probably far into the future. Why? I think it's because they were sword fighters first. They learned the martial skills to become successful on a physical battlefield. And when they converted, when their faith became something core to their being, they took that frame of mind, those lessons that need to be on always, and they applied it to their spiritual life. They took that Kampfgeist and they used it to fight temptations and to fight the devil. So I ask you to pray like you fight, with effort, with meaning, and to win. And not the physical contest that we practice here, but the most important thing of all. You're fighting for your crown in heaven.